Intro time, it's intro time. Welcome to cut number 74, where I keep resetting the video because I can't get it right. Smile. Welcome to another Diablo 4 video. We're going to be talking about how I joined the game, and we're going to be talking about the different things it can do to improve. Also, my hopes and dreams for Season 1. I do want to say thank you for the 100 subs on YouTube, guys. I do appreciate the heck out of you. We got a new little YouTube logo going on. It is my little wobbler holding up a little YouTube sign. So I do appreciate you. Thank you for 100 subs once again, and let's get into the video. Take your seats, take your seats. It is time for the story. To be honest, Diablo 4 had a really good story to its core. With Blizzard's known polish, it was a wonderful time. I enjoyed every single little portion. While we talk about it just a little bit, let's have a cinematic played in the top right. In 3, 2, 1, boom! The Diablo 4 story was actually really good with Lilith. I enjoyed it. It was darker. It felt more of a Diablo 2 kind of tone. Diablo 3 was more of, I would say, on the happier side. For example, with Whimsy Schreier and all that other jazz. This one had a more dark, deceptive, and very violent tune to its core gameplay, to be honest. I enjoyed the heck out of the Diablo storyline. I would give it an 8 out of 10, to be honest. I would suggest just playing the game through just to enjoy the story. It actually makes you care about what the characters are trying to do. Even the side quests in the game actually have some relevance to them. You know, you kind of feel attached to the specific type of mob or the specific type of NPC you're trying to help out. For example, killing a random goblin would drop a side quest item to go talk to somebody, and they give you this whole lore saying that yeah, they knew somebody that tried to go through the Goblin Rift, but they never seen them again afterwards. Like, it's interesting. It kind of makes you want to go through the storylines on like the side quests and like each zone and try to see what's really going down. To be honest, like there was just like this whole infighting in the bottom right corner of the Diablo map. It's like this whole storyline of vengeance and bandits and them just lying to each other. It was actually a relatively good time. So to be honest, if you would like to pick up the game for just the story alone, I would like highly suggest it. I enjoyed my time through it. And that's about it, to be honest. There's really nothing else to say. I would say pick it up, give it a shot, and you'll actually have a good time. If you're a fan of the aesthetic of Diablo 2, you'll be a great fan of the aesthetic of Diablo 4. So hopefully you enjoy it. I enjoyed it myself, and that's all I really got to say about the storyline. So I don't want to spoil it, but just go play it. Have a good time. All right, everybody, we hit level 100 finally. I want to take this opportunity to give my final thoughts on Diablo 4, what they can do for changes to improve gameplay, maybe some quality of life, stuff, and things along those lines. So what I want to start out with is experience. If this video was made about, let's say, a week ago, I would have been complaining so much on how Nightmare Dungeons gave no experience whatsoever. Since the changes that came into the hot patch not too long ago, the experience from Nightmare Dungeons are finally better and or equal to just normal dungeons, so you don't need to just keep spamming normal dungeons over and over and over again. It was just getting ridiculous where you just weren't doing Nightmare Dungeons. It was just pointless to do them. But I'm glad that change came into effect, and now Nightmare Dungeons are worth it again. But speaking about XP, I still believe that levels 1 to 80 are fine, but levels 80 to 100 are just long. Like, long. It felt like an eternity to just level up from 80 to 100. Like, it will take way too long for somebody to enjoy a season if it's taking 64 years to go from 80 to 100 than it took from 1 to 80. So I think it's just like just a little bit ridiculous. I think the experience needs to be looked at again. It's in a better shape than it was before, but hopefully by season 1 that could be fixed and changed. I would like to also talk about the Nightmare Dungeons and how you don't really have a big variety. Like, shake it up a little bit. Give us like a goblin nightmare dungeon. Have a, a random chance of a rainbow nightmare sigil to be crafted or found in some sort of like special event inside of a nightmare dungeon so it becomes useful. Something silly, or like a dungeon full of butchers. Like, just imagine just being chased just by 40 butchers, just want to chop you into pieces, and you're just praying to God that you can kick every single one of their butts. Like, just some inventive, innovative, some just new ideas for nightmare sigils. Like, hopefully by season 1 they have like different sort of variety to it, but if they don't, it'll just slowly become stagnant and dull and boring and just useless. It's just gonna become a boring just like loop, just like Chaos Dungeons. So hopefully they can shake it up a little bit in season 1 for nightmare sigils. Speaking about events though, inside nightmare dungeons and outside of them, events aren't really that good. They kind of give no benefit or reason to really do them. Some of them give Ouroboros shards. I'm pretty sure I'm butchering that, but they do give the gambling shards, which in turn, the gambling shards should also be given to nightmare dungeons. Give us a reason more so to do nightmare dungeons. So let me go into the dungeon, come out of it, want to gamba a little bit from the RNG guy or girl, and then go from there. And just make it a little bit more useful, you know? Just events, though, coming back to it, they aren't really that good. They reward you for nothing. They should really give you some, like, more incentive to do it. For example, if you have, like, a cursed chest, you're going to do it because it's a resplendent chest. You're always thinking that, hey, a big gold chest, maybe it's worth to actually do. But it's, sometimes it's not really worth it to do anything. Let's say you pass a cursed shrine. If, if that cursed shrine is anything but conduit, or lethal, or artillery shrine. By the way, I love the artillery shrine, best shrine ever invented. But because my minions can trigger it, and it's actually really, really satisfying. But other than that, you're running away from that shrine. You're actually not going to do it in any way, shape, or form. You're going to dip out. You're like, I'm not going to do this. And you're just going to leave it. Unless it's a resplendent and something useful to do it, you're just going to leave it alone. Like, for example, events inside nightmare dungeons, you're not going to do them because they're pointless. You want to go in, go out. You'll only do them if it benefits you more than just experience. Going along, speaking of uselessness, mounts. Mounts, to be honest, I'm tired of getting stuck on pebbles. Like, what's the point of a mount going slower than a character? Like, if I had a character with spacebar and increased movement speed inside of a town, I'm outpacing that mount. Like, why doesn't the mount have like a just a casual gallop, you know? Just a like 25% movement speed casually without hitting that space bar. Like, what's the point of having the space bar, 3 charges, and then it gallops slower than a character? Not even that. Getting stuck, like going back is like getting stuck on pebbles or little rocks, and then your whole entire reason to going forward is just not there anymore. It makes absolutely no sense. You have 0 momentum after that. And then you're just like, what's the point of even being on a horse? You know? I enjoyed the fact that they tried to do mounts, but mounts in Lost Ark, 100% better. Like 1,000% better. Like in Lost Ark, you can walk everywhere if you really wanted to because you're quick enough. And you can use the mount just for, you know, just giggles, just to have some fun being like in a bubble of some kind, just to like change it up a little bit, right? But in Diablo, where it kind of made you force yourself to go to Nightmare Dungeon and Nightmare Dungeon without like just the patch that came out where you can just teleport to them, just transversing was painful. Like, I got angry at my horse. I wanted nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. I just, hopefully they change something with like the mount pathing and all that jazz, but I really didn't want anything to do with the horses at all. Like, just that whole entire situation with like the mounting system, I'm sorry, it just like it needs to be reworked like 100%. Just don't give us cooldowns and using the mount. You know, 3 charges. Why do I need 3 charges? Let me gallop on my horse. If you want me to enjoy the aesthetic of the game, let me enjoy just galloping through your world without having to worry about a pebble or a tree or a twig or a barricade. Don't even get me started on barricades. Oh my sweet Jesus. I can't. Oh my lord, dude, the amount of double skeletons or like just going into your straight path and you're like, "Oh, this is cool. I'm enjoying myself." Gallop, gallop, gallop. All of a sudden, boom, there's a barricade, and you're like, oh, there goes all my fun. I guess I'm screwed now. I just get rid of barricades. They're useless. They're freaking useless. Oh my god. There's two other things I want to talk about for the gameplay is the stat distribution also. Close, distant, stun, crowd control, slow, frozen, burning, poisoned, plus percentage, plus percentage, plus percentage. There's too much. Consolidate. Get rid of 3 or 4 of them. Have more than just crit damage and attack speed like Diablo 3. Like, I appreciate that. Like, it's new. It's something Path of Exile-ish, but you need to consolidate it. You know, just a little bit. Get rid of some of those. Like, I am not a huge fan of close and distant. We are a hack and slash ARPG. Close and distant, come on, man. For example, the necromancers, like you have to be close to your minions, but at the same time, you got to be healthy for attack speed. Have you ever seen a situation where you're close to something and you're also healthy in a higher nightmare dungeon? I'll let you think about that for a little bit. It's just the system needs to be, like I said, shortened a little bit just so we can understand like a better pathing to go damage wise, or like I'm gonna have this percentage to do this percentage to do this percentage. And I know they already talked about resistances and how useless they are. They're useless. So I'm not even gonna touch on those right now. There's more things I want to talk about is world bosses. I like world bosses. World bosses are cool. I like the whole get everybody on your server to come and do the world bosses. It's really, really nice. They just aren't worth it. You know? They're just pinatas that aren't pinatas. Like you can maybe get a legendary, you get a cache that gives you a sacred or a really bad ancestral. It doesn't really like work out. I think the world bosses need to be worked on to give you like more of a reasoning to do it. I'd rather do 6 sellers or like 10 sellers and get a tree of whispers than do a world boss. And speaking of like events out in the world, Legion events and stuff like that are actually really, really fun. I just hope they put more things out there like Legion events with gives you rewards like cosmetics or gems or something like along those lines, right? Um, but I do really wish they would work on that. I really like Legion events. I like how they give you like mounting armor, or they give you like the ghost horse. The ghost horse is really, really cool. And I really, really like that. I just hope they expand upon that and they give us something actually worthwhile. Um, there's a couple of things I want to talk about. I'm doing this all in one take. The Hell Tides. I like Hell Tides, but I hate them at the same time. Do not force me to get a specific material in a specific time frame just to re-roll or enchant an item that starts at 100,000, but then it's at 12 million a pop and you can't get like max life on it. That's happened to me. My chest is at 9 million gold. I couldn't get max life to save my life. I just don't like the fact that they're forcing you to do it. It's just like the Lost Ark feeling where they force you to log in. I don't want to feel forced to do anything that I don't want to do. As like weird as that sounds, I just don't want to be forced to do that. It just I get that you made the event and you want people to do it. Maybe make it a little bit more rewarding. They've changed it recently to where you're getting better rewards and experience. You need to make it better. Like if I'm gonna wait like hour intervals for events, world bosses, hell tides, they all need to be actually worth the wait, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's all I have on hell tides. They're cool. Just work on them. We talked about events. We talked about how we need more cosmetics for events, the stat distribution, nightmare dungeons. If there's something else I want to talk about, would be probably my main class would be Necromancer. As you can see on the screen, as you're listening to me and watching me do a nightmare dungeon just for funsies, just for the viewers that enjoy watching two things at once, kind of like having like 2 monitors. You're listening to something and you're watching something else. And plus there was like nothing on this portion of my wall. I eventually would like to have like a TV or something there. But on that, necromancers, the AI for necromancers could be better. In little spaces, your minions and stuff, they get stuck. So they won't attack specific things like against a wall. When they're all clumped up together, as you've been like seeing in the video, that's been playing, they get confused. They don't know what to attack, who to attack. The golem consistently gets stuck on things. Like my necromancer minions, like I made my own build. Like I've had fun with it. We've made all the build videos below in the YouTube channel. You can check it out later if you really wanted to. But it needs to be worked on. The amount of times I yell at my golem, he's stuck right there. He's stuck. You can't make that up. He's stuck on the video. Anyways, just like little things like this, they need to be worked on. Why can't my minions specifically are smart enough to phase through each other? Like, give them phasing. I feel like they look like they're being phased through, but they're not. They're trying to like go beside each other to make it look like a bigger circle, and they're not like on top of each other. I swear, I'm not sure if I'm 100% correct here, but witch doctors, all their things in Diablo 3, they phased on top of each other. So it's like the little dudes just like shooting the damaging stuff and all along those lines. They're just like phased on top of each other, correct? I'm not entirely positive if I'm sure like, or right, but yeah, they had phasing if I'm right. Just give me phasing and a little bit better AI and have them like kind of like stand on top of the necromancer or in front of him. There's no point of having minions behind the necromancer. I can talk about this forever. Like I can make the 20-minute video on this, but I'm not going to. Just please give my necromancer some love. I love minion classes. I just want my minions not to be something from the early 2000s. But that's about it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the hopes and dreams and stuff for Diablo. The next portion you'll be listening to would be my hopes for season 1. Hopefully you enjoyed this portion and the Diablo video so far. I appreciate you. Much love, much respect, guys and girls, and I'll see you in a little bit. Season 1. Season 1. Season 1. All right, here's my hopes for season 1 coming up, chat. Hopefully in order. We'll do it just like pretty quickly here. My hopes is the mount system is changed and fixed, and we get to enjoy mounting around. I'm hoping for more uniques and legendary powers to be added in season 1 to keep things interesting and more builds can be created. I want better percent drop rates for uniques. Please, 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 please give us better drop rates for uniques. For the love of God, if I have to see another Penitent Greaves or Frostburn Gauntlets, oh my God, I found more razor plates than anything in the world. It just feels like you have higher percent drop rates for specific uniques, and others, they do not exist. It is but yet a fairy tale. I understand chase items, but then there's, Wonderland, then there's just like a different, universe of RNG. I'm hoping also they add Goblin Rifts for the Rainbow Nightmare Sigils that I mentioned earlier in the video. God, hoping they add the cow level. Please, moo moo, moo 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 moo. Moo. I've loved that. Diablo 2 cow level was my favorite. Is the most nostalgic thing in the world. Going around bone spearing cows. I'm running away from them. I'm bone walling. I'm just like a kid learning. It was a blast. I loved it. Please give us the cow level. Please. But there's been a lot of talks and a lot of data mining looking for the cow level, guessing where it is, but I'm guessing it's in season 1, so hopefully it comes in season 1, and I would love every second of that. Gem tabs, give us gem tabs. Season 1, not season 2. Why do I have a full tab of gems? For what reason? Why? What's the point? I need more room. Just having one build and trying to keep enough items to imprint like the better percentages is getting too much. Like if I can't even think about making an alt when the main is just way too much for one person to handle stash wise. Like there is people who hoard, and then there's people who hoard in Diablo. They need their own documentary on how bad their stashes are. Like it's bad. Like need to tear down that home bad. But please give us more stash space and the gem tabs. I think that almost about wraps it up for hopes for season one, other than class tuning, obviously. This is just like the most obvious thing. I hope everything gets stronger. Some things get changed around or nerfed or buffed, or just some good class tuning, and hopefully everybody has some fun with like different builds in season one, and it's not just like season 0.5 or it's the same build just doing 0.8% more DPS. So hopefully the variety and uniqueness comes more in season one. And my last thing I would like to talk about is world events. Give us more world events. Give us reasons to go out in the world and go use our emotes to talk to our fellow Diablo player. It's been fun seeing them at world bosses and Legion events, but give us more of a reason to interact with each other. Like, let me emote my $150 emote that I have for trying to play Diablo 4 early, Let me show it off a little bit. Like if I went down that route, let me show it off. The only person I'm showing off is the nightmare dungeon enemies, and they don't care. They don't care at all. So hopefully they have really cool events upcoming, and that's all for hopes for the season one. Hopefully more stuff comes around, we get to enjoy ourselves, more events and all that jazz keeps us interested. But I will see you all when season one drops, and until then, hopefully you enjoyed all my Diablo videos, and I appreciate each and every one of you. And once again, like I said at the beginning of the video, thank you for 100 subs. That actually means the world to me, and hopefully I get to make some more content. I am a variety streamer, so stop by my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Jonathan Frost, spelled JOHNATHONFROST. The way I spelled Jonathan is a tiny bit different, so I'll see you guys there if you want me on my Twitch channel, and if not, I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching, I appreciate you, and I'll see you next time. Later.